like to call our meeting back to order. Mr. Linden, would you please read us out of closed?
Yes, Madam Chair. I move that the Roanoke County School Board come out of closed session for the following: to discuss the investigation of a student matter pursuant to the Scholastic Record Exemption at 2.2-3711A2 of the Code of Virginia, and to certify to the best of each member's knowledge only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements under this chapter, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion by which the closed meeting was convened were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the school board.
Second. Dr. Soltis?
Mr. Greenway?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani?
Yes.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes, sir. Item 2.03, action from closed.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to allow students RE 2025-2026, 18 through 22 to be released from compulsory attendance pursuant to 22.1-254-B.1 of the Code of Virginia as amended.
Second.
Dr. Soltis?
Mr. Greenway?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, I motion that student EX 2025-2026-004 be expelled from Roanoke County Public Schools.
Second.
Dr. Soltis?
Mr. Greenway?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, I move that the recommendation for expulsion for student 2025-26005 be held in abeyance and be placed in alternative education under the conditions of a contract as determined by the superintendent.
Second.
Dr. Soltis?
Mr. Greenway?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes, sir. Welcome, everyone. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 4.01, announcement of changes in the agenda. We do not have any. Item 4.02, approval of agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Soltis?
Mr. Greenway?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hudson?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemens?
Yes, sir. Item 5.01, recognition of Sergeant Dan Walters for distinguished service to RCPS, and that's represented by Dr. Jessica McClung.
Good evening, members of the school board, Dr. Nicely and Dr. Soltis. Tonight, I am honored to be here to celebrate you. We're going to honor an outstanding professional and a trusted partner to our schools and a committed advocate for student safety, Sergeant Dan Walters. After more than 28 years of dedicated experience in law enforcement, Dan completed his distinguished career with the Roanoke County Police Department this past summer. Most notably, he served as the sergeant overseeing the school resource officer unit, a role in which his leadership made a profound difference in our school division. During his tenure, he supervised a team of SROs tasked with covering all of our schools. In media interviews, I snagged this. I thought this was a great quote that you said. He explained that, number one, his job was to make sure officers came to work safe and that the students and teachers arrive at the school safe and that they all go home safely. And I can say he did that. Sergeant Walters also played a key role in advancing the training efforts in our region. He led active threat scenario exercises with law enforcement and fire and rescue agencies to improve our interagency communication. And I have to say the partnership we have with you all has been tremendous and a real asset to Roanoke County Schools. Under his direction, the SRO team did more than respond. They proactively engaged our students. They build trust. They serve as mentors. They create safer, more supportive learning environments. And in the words of the school district's newsletters, as someone who worked closely with their division and the SRO unit, I've witnessed Sergeant Walters' impact firsthand. The calm professionalism, the willingness to listen, creative solutions to difficult problems, and above all, his unwavering focus that our staff and students not only feel safe, but really are safe. Sergeant Walters, on behalf of Roanoke County Public Schools, we thank you for your service, your leadership, and the legacy we leave behind. I'd like to present you with a certificate of recognition. Come on up.
Madam Chair, can I say? So before we let you run off, I got a couple stories about Sergeant Walters. So Sergeant Walters.
So does Assistant Chief Tuck, I'm sure.
Sergeant Walters actually field trained me about, I don't know, over 2 decades ago. So we're getting old.
Yes,
But
sir.
I was going to tell him about that time at Tanglewood Mall. Do you remember that?
There's several
I
stories.
won't tell him anymore. In all seriousness, I will say one thing, and this surely trues the heart of who Dan is. So I was at an all-time low in life. I had a 2-week-old son, and we were in the ICU, the PICU, and we had just had a conversation with a team of doctors, and it could have went either way. And shortly after that, I get when you're in the ICU, you have to like ring in on a phone, and so the nurse comes around and says, "Hey, there's a guy out here named Dan that wants to come in and see you." And I'm like, "Dan? Who is Dan?" Like, I'm like, "Yeah, sure, send him on back." Right? Who did I see? The smiling face of Dan Walters, who came up and talked to me for about 30 minutes. Dan, that 30 minutes meant a lot to me and brought me out of a bad time there. So I really appreciate you caring enough to come see me during that time. And I appreciate everything you taught me on a professional level, as well as the personal relationship we've had over the years. I'm definitely going to miss seeing you around the schools, but thank you for everything that you've done for us.
Yes, sir.
And I'd like to recognize the chief, assistant chief in the back, Lieutenant Pasco. All 3 of those guys work very hard to make sure our schools are safe. I know this from a professional level. These guys really put a lot of time and effort into making sure that we have what we need in the schools. Really appreciate you guys.
Madam Chair, I'd like to say one thing too. When we started this program, we didn't know what it would look like. Today we know what it looks like, and we thank you and we thank everyone that was behind the work to get these SROs in our schools. And if anyone goes to our schools and sees these SROs interact, and a lot of the credit goes to you, Mr. Walters, but if you see them interact with our kids, a lot of people say, well, do they just sit around? Do they just wait for something? No, these are the most amazing folks that interact with our kids. I've seen them play with them in the hallways with maybe special needs kids I've seen over at Mount Pleasant one time, and different things they've done at our various schools. They're always engaged, and the staff love them, and we can't thank you enough for what you've done. And Chief, and even a buddy of mine, the Assistant Chief, I'll even give him credit, but everyone that at the police office, and obviously Sheriff Orange, who helped us get this started and off the ground. Y'all are amazing folks, and we're indebted to you, just like our teachers. We're indebted to you to a debt I'm not sure we can repay, but thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chair, if I may, Roanoke County Public Schools have been so blessed to have that you helping us out, and the relationship that we have with both the police department and the sheriff's office. Your ability, though, Sergeant Walters, to select SROs for these schools that were able to relate to children and form that relationship with children was just tremendous. I see Officer Maxey in the back who decided to step away for a second for some reason. But you did just such a fantastic job of selecting officers who could really relate to these students and make them feel comfortable in our schools was tremendous. So thank you, and
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate the job you did.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, distinguished members, thank you very much for this recognition. It was really quite a surprise for me. I was very honored to be here tonight, and I'm very proud of the relationship I've been able to develop over the last 20-some, almost 30 years. And I wouldn't have been where I'm at in my career if it wasn't really for the cooperation I've had from the Board of Supervisors, but also Dr. Nicely. I've had a very good relationship with him for almost 15, it seems like, years now. And the rest of the administration at the county schools. I started off as just a lowly SRO at Northside Middle School many, many years ago, and then I went on to Cave Spring Middle School for another 6 years. And then, lo and behold, I was given the gift to come back as a sergeant over the unit, which was a blessing. And then I got to work with two of my closest friends, Chris Kuiper and then Pat Pasco behind me. So it's been an honor. I always joke, I've said this before. I went to Radford University, and I had in '98. I graduated from Radford, but right before I graduated, I did an internship with Roanoke County Police, which is how I found the agency. And during that internship, you get an opportunity to go to the different units within the police department, whether it's patrol, Detective Bureau, K9, SWAT, all the different things you get to do. One of the things I got to do was ride with the SRO unit. And of course, a young buck, when you're in your low to mid 20s, the thing you want to do all the time is do the ride-alongs. You want to ride the different shifts, midnight shift, evening shift, and have fun doing that kind of stuff. I rode with the SROs, and the guy I rode with is Commander Pascal right behind me there. And I said, there is no way I'll ever do this job as an SRO. No way. And then lo and behold, almost 30 years later, it's my passion. I think you guys know right now I've gone off into retirement, and I'm now director of security at a private school in the area. So that is my passion, school safety. Trying to raise awareness, not just with our schools, but also our community with regards to safety and situational awareness, and something I'm very, very proud of. I'm going to continue to do. I'm going to continue to have a good relationship with the school system here. I've been thankfully asked to stay on with the Safety Advisory Committee, which I plan on doing still, and then also help out with several other things in the area. But I am very thankful for your time tonight. It's very, very, I'm grateful for not just the friendships, but also the professional relationships I've made over the last 20 years. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
They love doing it. You don't.
Mark, I just want you to know I let you off easy. That was a fun one.
Item 5.02, School Spotlight, Bonsack Elementary School, Leanne Lefwich.
Good evening, school board members, Dr. Nicely and Dr. Soltis. It's great to be here this evening and brag a little bit about the school that we're at and that we love. I'd like to introduce Stephanie Burris. She is my full-time assistant principal, thankfully. She has been with me for 7 years, shared for part of that, but now she's with me full-time, which I'm very grateful for. So the basics of Bonsack, if you look at this slide, we opened in 1999, and believe it or not, I still have one person that has been there since the very beginning. Our enrollment is up a little bit. We have approximately 360 students, and we have actually about 60 students that come to us that are in and out of county transfers, so that's quite significant. Bonsack houses regional programs for preschoolers with autism, which we call PEEP. And then we also have a regional elementary autism program, which we call REAP. And then we also have a preschool class. There are 9 different languages spoken at Bonsack. And our goal is for every staff member, student, and family to feel connected and grow from being a part of our school. Bonsack's strategic goal, of course, reflect what we do here at Central as well. We have 3 main goals. Our first goal is that we stay on track with our SOL expectations. The second goal is, of course, PBIS implementation, that we make sure we continue that initiative. And then the third goal is to make sure that Bonsack continue to seek and investigate different ways to have deeper learning. The next part is about our SOLs, which we know is just only a piece of our accreditation. So if you look at the bar, the orange is the state, the blue is our division, and the gray is all Bonsack. So if you look at the reading, our 3rd grade reading SOL pass rate was 88%, fourth grade reading was 100% pass rate, and they tied with only 8 other schools in Virginia. Fifth grade is a 93% pass rate, and that gives an overall 94% pass rate for reading. For math, again, the bar graph stays the same with the colors. For third grade, we had a 94% pass rate. Fourth grade, we had a 100% pass rate again, tied for only 10 schools in the state of Virginia. Fifth grade math was 84%, and that is for a combined total of 93%. Science, only fifth grade students take science, and 88% of those pass the science. Virginia Studies, that only applies to fourth graders, and 100% passed that test, and the person that taught this may be related to somebody on the board. And that tied with 6 schools in the division, statewide. We also have the PBIS initiative. Every morning we read in our morning announcement our Pause Pledge. The students from our SCA come up and read it. And our Pause Pledge is: we are patient and kind, acting responsibly, working together, and safe and in control. Up in the top right-hand corner, you can see slightly there's a large jar, and the students are pouring marbles in that jar. It's a big 2-gallon jar, and in each individual class we have quart-sized jars, and they put marbles in it for specific and positive praise. And then as they go up those jars, they get different rewards for their classroom. All the classrooms then fill up that 2-gallon jar, and when we fill that 2-gallon jar, we have whole school initiative prizes and rewards. The golden spatula is something that is new to us last year. The students really want to have the golden spatula, and you can hear on Fridays when Ms. Burris announces the golden spatula, the cheers from the office, who won the golden spatula. It's based on who has the best behavior for that week. And so then they get in during lunch, and they get the pride of actually putting that outside of their door frame every week when they get it. And it's very competitive. They also have shout outs. So we get shout outs from students, staff, and also parents if they so choose. Ms. Burris also reads those aloud in the morning, and it always ties back to our Pause Pledge. Our school on the daily. We have Bobby the Bobcat. He is quite the hero. He was named by our students a couple of years ago when we got him. He shows up at PTO events first day of school and other celebratory events. Sometimes he'll just show up on a Thursday. You just never know. A previous parent at Bonsack still volunteers to be Bobby, even though his children are no longer at Bonsack. We definitely appreciate the community that supports our school. I mean, that's a pretty good gig right there. And then, of course, we were just talking about our SRO officers. We have had Officer John Bowman now for 2 years with us consecutively. You can look at this and see that he participates with us a lot. On the left-hand side, he is participating with an egg drop. He's up on a ladder and seeing which egg makes it to the bottom and which egg does not. In the middle, he is doing dollar days. He is getting a tattoo. I don't know if that's allowed, but he is. And then on the right, that is a birthday that he shares with a kindergartner that we took a picture and put it out on Facebook so that everybody could see it. We have Bonsack Buddy Days. Bonsack Buddy Days, what we do is we pair a higher grade with a lower grade, and they always have different activities to do, mostly on our early releases like that we just had. Matter of fact, I've got pictures I need to put on Facebook of the things that the teachers shared with me. So they have partner reading days, fact family days for math, winter writing, and most recently this past Wednesday they had STEM days. I mean, it was STEM galore, all these kinds of things that they did. And it really helps us connect because if you've ever been in Bonsack, we're basically in 3 different pods, so they may not cross paths very much, so it helps them have that interconnection. We have 3 specialized programs, as I mentioned before, the PEEP, REAP, and the preschool classes, and you can see those pictures. If you ever want a moment of joy, just walk in those classes. It's a class that has a lot of different behaviors and special needs, but it is also a class full of love and support by those teachers, and they do a phenomenal job. Our PTO is also exceptional. If you look in the middle where you see the Bonsack Fun Run, those are little Lego blocks that they showed how they raised the money, and they raised over $15,000. They have a little cart that they give the teachers. You can see the little boo cart up above that they take it around and tell our teachers how much they appreciate them with a little snack. You feed us and we're happy. And then you see Bobby the Bobcat at our bingo night. A book fair, they made sure every student at Bonsack this year got a book. So they provided the cost for anybody that did not purchase a book. They provided the cost and the difference for those that did not get a book. And then also they do some community events. They had the teachers in the class decorate wreaths, and then they passed them along to um, elder care centers so they could have something a little happy on their door. I also did not mention they also give our teachers an extra stipend, which is really nice. We have many traditions at Bonsack that encourage deeper learning. So the balloons over Bonsack, if you look, we see somebody that looks like they are Charlie Brown. And in between them is a little balloon. And fifth graders do this every year. We do it the day before Thanksgiving break to kind of reflect Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. There's a book that goes along with it, a children's book. They have to make a balloon. They get to choose it. They get to decide how they want to do it. And they're only given so many things to make it with. So then it's a STEM project that they have to do. And it definitely creates some critical thinking because the balloons do pop. And then career fair, you see the children scrubbing some teeth there. We have people that come, our school counselor organizes this every year, and it comes in the spring. And we have anything from dentists to community helpers to our SRO officer actually participated in this year. Last year when we had student teachers, they participated in it and talked about becoming a teacher. We have had architects. We have had tattoo artists, actual tattoo artists come in. It's just a variety of things, and so that helps them learn about citizenship. We have Dollar Days is in the upper right-hand corner. She's showing her nails because the first graders do things that talk about consuming and producing, and it is a collaboration day. Adopt a Pet's in the upper left-hand corner. It reflects citizenship. And then we have Famous Persons Day, which is on the bottom right. The students get to have autonomy and choose a famous person that they would like to dress up as, and then they make a PowerPoint or something that goes along with that famous American. And then our students walk through the hallways, and then they talk about those people and reflect on them. Deeper learning, some other things that we do. We have student-led conferences. We have the Lego Spike Kit, which is really great. We have solar cards, which is in the upper right-hand corner. And we have STEM cards for children's book, which is a new initiative this year. We have some clubs. Both of these clubs are run by staff. They volunteered for it. One even came up with it himself. The girls have had Girls in the Run for years, right? Y'all have heard of Girls in the Run. It's a very great organization. And the boys were like, hey, we feel left out. What's with us? So actually an SCA member thought about having his own club. I said it's Boys on the Run, but it's actually Brave Boys. I was already called out by them when I told them I was sharing this. They're like, we're not Boys on the Run, we're Brave Boys. So I just wanted to point that out. Lastly, I would like to show a picture of our staff. I would say that our staff is extremely committed to help our students grow. We have students that come in with a lot of knowledge. They have many things at their hands and that they can use and learn. Their families take vacations. And then we have some that are not as fortunate. But it doesn't matter where they come when they enter Bonsack. Our goal is always to make sure that they grow. Even if it's a little bit, we just want to make sure that they are growing and excelling and making sure that they reach their fullest potential. Each individual that you see in that picture cares for every child. Not one child is left behind because we want to make sure that they all succeed. That right there, that's my team. They're on my team and I'm on their team. And I appreciate everything that they do and we work together as a team. So I appreciate you allowing me to share a little bit about my team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I'm yes, Ms. Leftwich is doing such a tremendous job over there, and I'm glad you mentioned your staff because it's seen test scores obviously prove that you're doing real well. But every time I'm in that school, just so welcoming and inviting. Everybody's so friendly and happy and smiling. The children, when I come to back to school night, it's a situation where you could just feel the love in that school, and it starts with the leadership. But you're doing just such a great job over there, and I know you've got a great PTO.
I do.
That does a tremendous job for you. So we really appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very similar comments, but my youngest daughter, when you talked about 1999, I remember that school being built because she went to Bonsack. So she was in that school, and my sister teaches there, one of my favorite people in the world, right? So very close to that school, and love all the people over there, and there's such good people in there. And I think Dr. Nicely has a special person that
Somebody.
works in that school. I'm not sure, but maybe. So. So, but yeah,
Yes, she is in the center.
we thank you. You've done a great job over there. We always try to incorporate you, even though you happen to just be a few feet over into the Hollins district. You're a Vinton school, so we appreciate you. And all the kids come to us, and we thank you for everything. You and your staff and the teachers are amazing. We thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. I feel very fortunate to work there. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.01, report by Student Advisory Council Representative Bear Tyree.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Nicely, Dr. Soltis, and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to share updates from the Student Advisory Council. The council held its annual retreat at Treetop Quest in the Explore Park on October 3rd. During the morning session, members participated in a series of team-building activities and challenges, as well as navigated the park's zipline course. In the afternoon, students worked in school-specific groups to complete a guided reflection and questionnaire that will help shape our goals and priorities for the year. This month, the council collaborated with the Special Education Advisory Council to promote disability awareness across the division. Our efforts included designing and decorating school bulletin boards, creating informational handouts and newsletters, and delivering morning announcements. These are just a few of the examples of how students are helping to raise awareness and foster inclusion in our schools. Additionally, the council developed a social media handbook to assist middle and high school administrators in promoting a safe and positive school culture. Several members, Taylor Groos, Lily Browdich, Parker Ray, and I presented an overview of the handbook and shared insights on social media use and engagement among teens at this week's secondary principals meeting. Our next monthly meeting will be held on Wednesday, November 5th, and I thank you for your continued support of student leadership in our division.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7.01, hearing of citizens for agenda items. We do not have any. Item 8, consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
Dr. Soltis?
Mr. Greenway,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemens.
Yes, sir. Item 9.01, Glenver High School naming a baseball field, Miss Tammy Newcomb.
Dr. Corey.
Oh, sorry. Let me say that again. We've got Dr. Corey Franklin.
Good evening, Dr. Nicely, Dr. Soltis, Dr. McClung, and members of the board. Tonight, on behalf of the Glenver community, we would like to formally request to name the Glenver High School baseball field in honor of longtime coach and teacher, Mr. Larry Wood. In attendance with us this evening are Coach Larry Wood, his wife Sandy, Mr. Jason Murray, former athletic director and current AP, and Mr. Troy Henderson, who is a GHS parent and was a player under Coach Wood on the state championship baseball team. Coach Larry Wood's legacy is unparalleled in Roanoke County schools. Since beginning his coaching career in 1971, he dedicated more than 5 decades to high school athletics, and 49 of those years are at Glenver High School. His contributions to students, athletes, and the Glenver community span across multiple sports, including 18 years coaching football, 15 years coaching basketball, 25 years coaching baseball, 14 years coaching softball, 2 years coaching gymnastics, and 1 year coaching wrestling. In addition, Mr. Wood taught health and physical education at Glenver for 29 years. He personally taught me and Dr. Soltis health and PE, which is why we're as healthy as we are today. He drove athletic buses from 1971 to 2010, and he served faithfully on the football chain crew from 1988 to 2022, and he led the Glenver baseball program to its first and only state championship in 1994. In recognition of his extraordinary service, lifelong dedication, and lasting impact on countless students, athletes, and athletes, excuse me, I respectfully recommend that the school board approve the naming of Glenver High School's baseball field as Larry Wood Field in his honor.
Thank you.
I'll happily make the motion to name the field after Mr. Wood. If anybody spent any amount of time at Glenver, they've seen that face. And I really appreciate everything you've done for the community for so long. Thank you. You've touched so many kids' lives. It's amazing to think all the way back to 71, did you say? 1970?
1971.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Wood. That's a lot of dedication and time. And thank you, Mr. Henderson, for being here as well and all the things that you do. And we're going to recognize you and your father at upcoming meeting.
I'll second.
I'll
Yeah,
second.
go ahead.
Do we have any other discussion?
Well, I would like to say, Mr. Wood, that I think Miss Franklin left off one piece, unless I missed it. You also coached at Roanoke College baseball for a while, and my son was fortunate enough to was fortunate enough to play for you, and he loved it, had a great experience. So I'm sure that everything you predisposed at Glenver is just absolutely legendary from what we all hear. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Soltis?
My honor. Mr. Greenway,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemens.
Yes, sir.
And before you leave, can we get a picture? This is a little out. Normally, we don't do that when we vote on action
Yeah,
items, but I
and-
think this is a huge deal. And
Absolutely.
all the time
Did
that
he
you
wanna
put
say
in,
anything?
It's an honor.
Sure we do. We want to hear some
Am I-
stories
am I
about
on a
Mr.
time
Henderson when he played for you.
No, the kids, at the end of practice, coaches always talk to the kids. Well, they had to give me time limits. I only had 2 minutes to talk, so I had to talk fast. But, Denver is my home. Ironically, 1965 was the first time I stepped in Denver High School. I'm from Lynchburg, so I went to Glass, and we were playing PH in a playoff game for the district. We had to do it on a neutral field and a neutral court, and it happened to be Denver. That was the first time I stepped in Denver. And then I started my teaching at West Salem Elementary, which was part of the county then. And I was also fortunate enough to be a volunteer for football and basketball at Denver in the early 70s until whenever. And I live in Denver's backyard. And every time the door is open, I'm in there. And I just love the place. The people are great. The kids are just fantastic. And as corny as this may sound, one of my reasons for getting up in the morning is to go to practice. I love those kids. I love doing what I'm doing, and I love teaching fundamentals. And I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do it. I'm approaching 79, and people tell me I don't look that old. However, I feel that old. But, that's what keeps me young. It keeps me going. And I couldn't think of a better place to spend my life. And I want to thank my wife for putting up with me for that long. If it hadn't been for her, most people would have walked away a long time ago. But I appreciate this honor. I never expected it. I have spent an awful lot of time there, but I can't think of a better place I'd rather do it at. And the people I had to work with were just unreal too. I have a lot to be thankful for. And don't believe everything you hear. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9.02, VDOE Security Equipment Grants, Ms. Susan Peterson.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. At the last work session, we shared that the Virginia Department of Education awarded Roanoke County Public Schools $56,000 through the 2025 School Security Equipment Grant Program for the purchase and installation of new interior and exterior surveillance equipment at Herman L. Horn Elementary School. We requested the required 25% local match of $14,000 to be funded through minor capital special projects. Just last week, on October 16th, VDOE announced a second award to the division of $45,648 through the 2024 School Security Equipment Grant Program reallocations. This award is designated for new external surveillance equipment at Cave Spring High School. We request the 25% required local match of $11,412 to be funded through minor capital special projects. We are bringing the grant forward now rather than waiting until the next work session because it is the same grant that we just presented to you guys. It's just a different year and a different school. And the vendor also announced that they would be raising prices November 1st, and so we wanted to get the price discounts of ordering it in the current month. So combined, staff requests that the school board accept both VDOE security equipment grants of totaling $101,648, $56,000 for Herman L. Horn, and $45,648 for Cave Spring High School, and approve the appropriation of these amounts from the grant fund special projects. In addition, staff requests an appropriation of $25,412, $14,000 for Herman L. Horn, and $11,412 for Cave Spring High School for the local match funds from minor capital special projects. I can answer any questions you may have.
Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Dr. Soltis?
Mr. Greenway,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Clemmons.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9.03, appointment of next superintendent. So I will start by reading our resolution. Whereas there will be a vacancy in the office of Division Superintendent effective July 1st, 2026, and whereas the school board wishes to appoint Dr. James Soltis as Division Superintendent for a term commencing July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2030. Now therefore be it resolved that Dr. James Soltis is appointed Division Superintendent for a term commencing July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2030, and be it further resolved that the chairperson and clerk are authorized to execute an employment agreement with Dr. Soltis for a term commencing July 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2030. Do we have a motion to...
I'll make that motion. I'll jump
Okay,
ahead. I want to be the first one to do it. I love Jamie.
I'll second the motion.
All right, so discussion. Anybody want to...
Great news for us.
I'm going to leave mine in public comments because I got a lot to say.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let Dr. Nicely call the roll on this
I'm
one.
going to call the roll. Just keep it on the up and up.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Greenway,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Linden,
Yes, sir.
Ms. Fashani,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
and Ms. Clemmons.
Yes, sir. Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Dr. Soltis.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Nicely. First and foremost, I want to thank the school board for your trust and confidence in me. Being selected to serve as the next superintendent of Roanoke County Public Schools is truly an honor and a humbling one. As a proud graduate of Roanoke County Public Schools, this moment carries special meaning for me. The foundation of who I am as an educator and as a person was built right here in the classrooms, hallways, and fields of this community. I was fortunate to learn from some of the most incredible teachers and coaches. Coach Wood, thank you. Coach Myers is a special person to me. He's been my mentor and father figure throughout my life. His belief in me, his guidance, and his example of servant leadership continued to inspire me every day. It was watching him and Coach Wood and all the other coaches at Glenver pour into students, giving their time, their wisdom, and their hearts that made me want to be an educator. My deepest hope is that I can impact all the Roanoke County students the same way they impacted me. When I began my career teaching in Roanoke County at William Byrd High School back in 1999, when Bonsack was apparently built, which they were acting like that was old. I never imagined that one day I'd be standing here in this role. Over the years, I've had the privilege of working alongside so many incredible teachers, administrators, and staff who make Roanoke County one of the best school divisions in Virginia and, in my opinion, in the nation. We're blessed with people who are not only highly skilled professionals, but who care deeply about our students. Leading this dedicated and talented team is an honor that I take very seriously. I also want to take a moment to thank Dr. Nicely for his leadership, his vision, and his personal support throughout my career. I'll never forget when I brought you over to Glenver Middle and said, "Am I going to make it to the end of the year?" And you said no. It was the budget. It was the budget. He said, when I joined the central office in 2018 after serving at Glenver Middle and Glenver High, Dr. Nicely shared with me his vision for what would become our Opportunity Ready philosophy. To now have the chance to continue that mission, to carry forward the innovative work that he began is both a privilege and a responsibility I deeply respect. And finally, and most importantly, I want to thank my family and friends, some of which are here tonight. They have been with me every step of the way, supporting me throughout my career and encouraging me to keep growing. As I look ahead, I'm excited about the future for Roanoke County Public Schools. Together with our outstanding educators, staff, families, and community partners, we will continue to ensure that every student has the opportunity to learn, grow, and succeed. Thank you again for this incredible honor. I'm proud to continue serving this community, the one that raised me, taught me, and inspired me, and to lead Roanoke County Public Schools into its next great chapter. I make the commitment to all of you that I will work tirelessly every day to ensure that I leave no doubt that I and our entire organization have been given everything we have to the best of our abilities every day to make a difference for the kids like so many educators did for me. Once again, I just wanted to say thank you guys very much, and I'm truly humbled, so thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Soltis. Let's see. Item 10, information items. We do not have any. Item 11.01, hearing of citizens for non-agenda topics. During this portion of the meeting, citizens are invited to address the board members on matters of public concern and exercise of their First Amendment rights. In the interest of time, speakers must be either parents, employees, students, or citizens of Roanoke County. We ask speakers to be respectful and civil in their comments, observing due respect of the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by public comments. Speakers should be aware that they may be held legally responsible if they make statements that violate the legal rights of others. For example, if statements are made that are defamatory or threatening. Complaints about specific school personnel should be addressed outside of the meeting to the appropriate school administration, who will address those concerns as appropriate through existing complaint procedures. Comments likely to disrupt the board's work or prompt a breach of the peace are prohibited, and the speaker will be called out of order by the board chair. Speakers must address the board chair rather than individual board members. Speakers have 3 minutes to make their comments and will be signaled by the yellow light and an audible tone on the podium. When the light turns yellow and you hear the first tone, please wrap up your comments and finish before the red light and the second tone. Please be aware that board members listen to comments but do not respond. Let's see, our first speaker is Jade Carpin.
Thank you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Nicely and Dr. Soltis. My name is Jade Carpin. I attend Hidden Valley High School, and I also go to Burton on A-days. Today, I'm here to talk about the arts. The arts are some of the most important programs that we have at our high schools. I think many in this room will agree on that. And the arts programs at Burton, performing and visual, are some of our most talented students. At our high schools, most of our arts programs are, in my opinion at least, severely underfunded. But at Burton, it's different. At Burton, it's a place where people can express themselves. It's a place where people can go and it doesn't matter how they are. I've seen the plays from the performing arts, I've seen the paintings from visual. They're extremely talented. Now, recently it came to my attention that these programs, as of next year, when we move to the new building, were being either removed to a different high school or cut altogether. And honestly, I was appalled. Um and in just a few days I spread around a petition and it got around 210 signatures from concerned students, mostly from those at Burton. And the 210 people who signed this petition, I would imagine, agree with me that this isn't okay. The arts programs at Burton, as I said, are very important. And this isn't just a petition, it's a call to action or a call for justice, whatever you want to call it. I know it's not realistic to expect the arts to come back next year or maybe even the year after that. But this petition and me coming here today is to urge the board to reconsider this decision and in maybe a few years bring it back. I know I did research on this, and apparently this new building is 34,000 square feet larger than our previous, and I see no reason to get rid of these arts programs that are so important to so many people. Thank you. If you would like this petition, I can give it to you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Holly Smith.
Good evening, members of the school board. I realize that my questions I'm about to ask you will go unanswered tonight, so please consider them rhetorical. It's becoming increasingly concerning how many coaches we are losing at Cave Spring High School, and at an alarming rate. Most recent, Nick Sharp, 21 years coaching the Cave Spring High School softball team. There seems to be a clear pattern at Cave Spring. When a coach's standards, expectations, or approach are not agreeable to some, the issue is taken directly to the school board. The result too often seems to be the coach's contract is not renewed. In most workplaces, there is a chain of command, a process that must be followed. At Cave Spring High School, that process appears to be bypassed. Rather than addressing issues at the school level, they're being brought straight to the school board and decisions are passed down to the administration, whether they like it or not. When did it become acceptable for parents to dictate who keeps their job and who doesn't? And why are parents not being held to the same standards, accountabilities that we expect from our students, our educators, and our administrators? We have entered a dangerous cycle, one where if a student or parent doesn't like how a coach runs their program, they simply run to the school board and have the problem fixed. This practice is not only undermining your coaches, it is setting a damaging example for our children. What are we teaching them when we allow this to continue? When did teaching conflict resolution become a lost art? As parents, we should be teaching our children to work harder, to understand that life doesn't hand you everything you want. There will always be someone out there who wants it more, and success requires effort, accountability, and resilience. Speaking specifically about the softball program, I can personally attest to the positive influence of Coach Nick Sharp and his staff. My daughter played in the program and still carries these lessons she learned from him and his staff into her college career. They are passionate about the game. They care deeply about their players, believe in them, hold them accountable, and they set high standards. Softball, like many other sports, is a game of failure. What defines an athlete is how they respond to that failure. They learn to pick themselves up, learn from their mistakes, and give their best effort next time. These are not just athletic lessons, these are life lessons. There's been some talk about low numbers in softball, but let's be honest, numbers are down across the county in almost every single sport. That's not the coach's fault. The coaches can't make the kids put down their phones and go outside to play. For these reasons, I am respectfully requesting a full and transparent investigation into why the softball coaches' contracts were not renewed. Additionally, I am also requesting that anyone with a conflict of interest be recused from the involvement in this investigation. It's time we restore fairness, consistency, and
Time has
respect for the
expired.
chain of command. It's time that we start setting the example for our students, the next generation who are watching. Dr. Nicely, I would appreciate a follow-up on this investigation and my concerns. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Amanda White.
Good evening. Tonight I should be in the stands watching my senior daughter play her last volleyball game. Instead, I'm here standing because I believe something deeply biased has happened to our school community. Tonight, we are not here to argue. Many of us are just upset about the decision itself. We are concerned about how it was made. From what we understand, the investigation, if there was one, was the one that led Nick to not allowing to renew his coaching contract. In this incomplete, inconsistent, and lacking transparency, the students are taught to be fair, to hear both sides, and stand by the truth. We expect the same from our leaders who guide our school. An investigation that doesn't follow proper protocol and seek out all perspectives doesn't reflect values. It weakens the trust between the students and the staff and all of you sitting right here in front of me. This decision doesn't just affect the current players. Numerous players, past and present, parents, and community members have shared emails, text messages about how Nick positively influenced their lives. He taught them important life lessons, and how he helped them grow on and off the field shows the kind of impact he had. The one that built on trust, integrity, and character. The students are taught when a mistake is made, the right thing to do is own it and make it right. We are asking the same from our leaders tonight. Please take another look. Listen to the voices of those who have spoken up. Reconsider this decision, not for the one person, but the message it sends to every student who is watching and learning what fairness, honesty, and integrity truly is.
Thank you. Item 12.01, report by Roanoke County School Superintendent, Dr. Nicely.
All right. Good evening, members of the board, Madam Chair. Let me begin this evening by congratulating Dr. Soltis on his appointment to be the next superintendent for Roanoke County Public Schools. You as a school board have made an excellent choice, and I could not be more pleased, knowing that this incredible school division will continue the work of putting what is best for children first with decision-making, hiring and supporting the best teachers, principals, and staff, and remaining committed to developing students who are opportunity ready with their skills, knowledge, and mindset. I was recently doing some research about our school division and realized that this year actually marks the 155th anniversary of the establishment of Roanoke County Public Schools as an organized system of schools under the broader state system. On September 9th, 1870, the new school division was inaugurated with Luther Holland as the first superintendent. There were a total of 23 school buildings serving 1,113 students with 23 teachers, which means one per school. So you can kind of picture this. These school buildings were generally of the one-room log cabin schoolhouse variety, with benches for the students to sit on, as kind of illustrated there, and only 7 of the buildings actually had outdoor plumbing facilities, meaning outhouses. I'm not sure what the rest were doing. Schools were only in session for 3 to 5 months of the year, and student attendance was less than 50%. This was definitely, still an agrarian economy, so, a lot of the kids were out there working on the farms. Even 90 years later, by the way, as late as 1960, only 60% of students entering the 8th grade actually graduated from high school with a diploma. So that's pretty amazing. But back in 1870, teacher salaries, by the way, were $30 a month for men and $26.83 a month for women. I have no idea how they calculated or what the justification was for that difference. All that to say, we've come a long way. Roanoke County has a long, proud history of providing an education for its children, and there have been many people who have gone before us and blazed trails. It's important to honor and respect the past, as well as recognize that all of us are temporary stewards of the responsibilities and opportunities we've been given, even as we, during our time of service, blaze new trails and keep the school system moving forward on a trajectory of excellence for the children of Roanoke County. I'm excited about the days ahead and all that will continue to be accomplished in Roanoke County Public Schools under Dr. Soltis' leadership as the 16th superintendent. I want to thank our CTE team and Morgan Romeo of the Greater Roanoke Workforce Development Board for once again organizing the Career Quest event that was held back at the Berglund Center a few weeks ago. This is for all 7th graders in all area schools. I want to thank all the businesses that committed to sending over staff for the 2 days and setting up wonderful hands-on activities for the students. These events are a great way to get students thinking early about career paths and the opportunities that exist in our region. The Roanoke County Navy NDCC program is under new leadership. It's housed at Williamburg High School, of course, currently, under the new instructor, who is Senior Chief Sean Wingle. The cadets recently celebrated the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Navy and showed off their discipline and drilling. I was so impressed with the student leaders, including Cadet Company Commander Alexis Short and the youngest cadet present, Cadet Jose Santos Ortiz, who was honored. And I was honored for them to surprise me with a special honor, including a framed Navy flag. The most fun part, of course, was helping them cut the cake with an actual sword, which was apparently a Navy tradition. As you're aware, we've been honoring our staff members who have been part of our Roanoke County Public Schools team for 5 or more years. This has been a great way of recognizing service along the way, rather than just waiting until retirement, and I hope this new tradition will continue on well into the future. Believe it or not, we have 2 members of our RCPS team who have been with us for over 55 years. You heard me right, over 55 years, which means they started with RCPS around 1970 when the school division was celebrating its 100th anniversary. Congratulations and a big thank you to Ms. Vicki Carroll at Williamburg High School and Ms. Joan Farley at Cave Spring Middle School for their over 55 years of dedicated service. They're both pictured there. Tomorrow we'll be celebrating the next exciting phase in the renovations at Cundiff Elementary School as the new cafeteria and administrative areas are officially opened to make room for expanded classrooms in the main building. This brief ceremony will be held at 9:30, and of course you're all invited. Our ongoing series of community information sessions about the real dangers of social media and smartphones continues with additional sessions scheduled. For a full listing, please see the RCPS website, but the next ones are coming up next week at Masons Cove Elementary on Monday, and that one will be at 6 o'clock, and then in Glenver Elementary on Tuesday, October 28th, and that will be at 6:30, a special time. All meetings, by the way, are open to all parents and families in the area, so you don't have to be a parent in the school in which the session is being held. I encourage everybody to come out. Speaking of the RCPS website, I want to thank Mr. Lineberger for excellent work in redesigning the new Opportunity Ready page, which is now located prominently on the front page and highlights the 2 main components of the Opportunity Ready graduate program, which are senior portfolio defenses and student-led conferences, both of which are designed for students to showcase and demonstrate their development of the skills, knowledge, and mindsets needed to be opportunity ready. And finally, I want to invite and encourage all parents, students, and staff to participate in the culture and climate surveys that will be launching tomorrow. These and similar surveys are conducted periodically and are designed to provide parents, students, and staff to give input and feedback to our school's efforts to provide safe and welcoming environments. And the surveys will be sent out by email and will remain open through November 5th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item 13.01, reports and inquiries of board members. Mr. Greenway, would you like to go first?
Yes, ma'am. So there's a lot to talk about. A lot's been going on. But the first and foremost, I want to thank Dr. Soltis for being a part of our team and for stepping up and taking the leadership role. We appreciate you. I want to go back to, so you were here previously in my tenure, and I'll never forget thinking there's a couple people that we've lost over the years. We haven't lost many, but we lost a couple. And I thought, gosh, that guy, he has something that a lot of people, Dr. Nicely, actually, this is what I love about him as well, has something that he can identify with everyone. He can relate to board members. He can relate to staff members. He can relate to a custodial. He can relate to everybody. There's no parts of the schools that you can't relate to, and I've seen it in action. And I thought we need somehow to get that guy back here one day. And I'm proud to say today's that day. And I remember, I'll never forget when Mr. Hudson and I were talking, and we started a little bit of the conversation about, I wonder if Dr. Soltis would come back our way. And so those discussions started, and here you are. And Dr. Nicely is handing off a football with, we're up 75 to nothing. And
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. But I know you're the right guy to take that and continue the trajectory. You know, I'll even throw in the part about sometimes I think, you know, we've got these test scores, and nobody likes, I shouldn't say nobody, but most think we could revise the testing, some of the things we do and the way we teach to the test, the SOLs and some of that nature. But you know, we're 6th and 7th in the state of Virginia out of 131 districts in reading and math. And maybe I've got that backwards, math and reading. But you know, that's the playing field we're on, right? And we have done an amazing job at Roanoke County Public Schools, Dr. Nicely and staff, and just amazing teachers and all the folks, the folks, the support folks that make that happen, and bus drivers that get them there, and SROs that keep us safe and engaged. And there's just so many facets. But you know, I'm proud of the fact that we are 6 and 7. You know, almost some of the stuff we've talked about in the campaign and different things, you know, or you can't just teach to a score, and you can't, you know, just measure by a score. That's the measuring stick we've got, and we're pretty good at it. And I'm proud of that. And I will not apologize or take a step back in that respect. I think we are doing well, and I think Dr. Soltis will be championing and taking that to the next level. And Dr. Nicely, we can't thank you enough for what you've done, and we've still got time with you. But I think Roanoke County Public Schools are in good hands, folks. It really is, and we're doing well. And I think that's a testament to our board members. So we work well together, and that's part of it. So thank you, and I'm sure we'll hear some more accolades. But then I also want to pivot to my yellow ribbon here. We had the pleasure of doing an early graduation for 2026 to a young man, and this is probably the worst kept secret in the world because everyone has been a part of it and been so gracious and helpful and accepting and participating. We've got Cam, and I'll never pronounce his last name well, and so, but that young man is someone that can teach us all something about life. When we walked across and congratulated him for graduating, he's graduating a little early. You know, I bent over, and the only thing I could say to him was that you're so inspiring to all of us. You know, he's teaching us when he's here in the schools to be taught. And just an amazing young man. He just put a video, I don't know if everybody's had a chance or saw it, put a video out today. I don't know how he does it. He's been in some pain, and but just an inspiring young man. And if you have the chance to look him up. Look him up. Cam's Purpose is what it's called on social media, and he's just inspiring on so many levels. And Northside, I know, took part of when we played over there. There was, I think y'all may have a young person as well that's dealing with some issues, but they welcomed Cam in our group, and so anyway, I won't say any more about it, but look that up. And if you need inspiration and how good people are, that's a place to look. Dr. Nicely talked about years of service. We did recognize a couple of folks. I'm going to throw Miss Mullins in at Herman L. Horn as well. Over 40, I think 42 years, if I remember correctly. 40 years of service, which is absolutely amazing. And everybody talks about, you go in that school, you see that smiling face. That kind of starts your day off, right? I mean, that's what those kids get to come into, is Miss Mullins and that smiling face. And then I pivot up to William Byrd High School and Miss Carroll, who a lot of us kid at the school that she's actually the boss and she runs that place. And she's been there 55 years. So she's an amazing young lady, and she's just sweet as she can be. But boy, if you need something, in fact, I'll tell you a funny story. My son came to me, and he coaches the basketball team over there, and he came to me and said, "Dad, we got something going on here, and I thought I'd see if you could help out." And I said, "Well, what do you need?" And he said something about something in the concession stand area. And he said, and I knew what was that. He said the question was, I knew what was going on. He said, "Can you go up front and ask Miss Carroll if we can get access to, I don't know, some area?" And I said, "You got to be kidding. That is not going to, you go ask her, because she's going to tell you no, and you're going to have to." So he was trying to get around the system doing it, thinking I said, "She's going to tell me the same thing she's going to tell you." And that's the way it should be. And she's just awesome. So she was there with the last, 3 or 4 principals, and just an amazing lady. And so we've got some wonderful people in this school system. Want to say one thing. We're hearing about, and we get before us some of these situations with students that come up for expulsion or disciplinary issues and so forth. And I'm just going to lay it out there. And I wish the chief was still here, and the assistant police chief. This THC problem is absolutely off the charts. It's grabbing our kids. It's addicting them. It's just jaw dropping, to be quite honest. And the thing that sticks out in my mind about almost every case, and my board members and Dr. Nice and Dr. Soltis, several people in these closed sessions, the thing that's just jaw dropping to this whole mess is that each kid says, "Well, it's just easy to get. It's no problem to walk into one of these vape stores and walk out with what we need." And I'm not trying to pick on them, but they need to be picked on, I guess. But it's not only those, but we had one, and I quote this young person: "Any convenience store in Roanoke," quote. My fellow board members heard it. "Any convenience store in Roanoke, we can walk in and get this stuff and walk out." And then we hear about trying to get these kids rehabilitated, and from going to some of the programs that we've had, there was Protect Your Child Online. I've been to that when it was at Byrd, and we've got Trip Ison, which is an amazing young man that came out of Byrd that will tell you about addiction and how he fought it and has beaten it now for many years. And we have got to find a way. And Chief Poindexter, Sheriff Arnold, whoever can help us, somebody has got to take and I don't know what the answer is. I don't know, maybe an attorney or a judge. Somebody's got to take up this issue to help us not be so available to our kids. They don't even mind if you confiscate this stuff. It's so cheap to get now and so easy to walk into these places and walk out with it. that it doesn't even matter if you confiscate it. I'll just walk down here because we've got 10 of them within a couple miles, and I'll grab another one and I'll do it again. And then I'll, and it's just awful. And somebody has got to take that plight. And I don't know who it is, and I don't know who but somebody has got to take that plight. We've got to figure that out. And you say, well, THC, I hear it's legal. Well, it's not legal for a kid that's under 18, and it shouldn't be that easily accessible. So I hope somebody hears this message. I know not many people listen to our board meetings, but I hope somebody had hit somebody and they take this and run with it. We've just got to find somebody that'll do it. We've called and shared where they're getting it at and different things, but we've just got to find somebody. Anyway, I'll let that go, but I hope somebody hears that. Again, proud to serve with each one of you board members. We're lucky with the board members you have in the other districts. Phenomenal people, and we work well together. And I'm proud to say that a lot of these issues we try to tackle, and we try to keep our children safe, and we try to support all our teachers and staff. And so I'm proud to work with each one of you. I want to say one thing about the courageous young lady on the arts. I don't remember your name, but you spoke so well. Yep, that's you. You spoke so well and came up here to articulate your point. And, there's a lot of issues that go with it, but I really appreciate you coming up here and having the courage to stand before us and speak about that. I truly applaud you for that. And your message is heard, and we'll talk, and obviously can't promise you anything, but things are, we try to remember everybody. But when a child comes up here and does that and has the courage, we appreciate you, and appreciate all the speakers, but particularly when it's one of our students. It's just kind of phenomenal to hear them speak. So thank you for doing that. And then last, I want to just say tomorrow we dedicate the administrative wing for Cundiff, and it's just looking so good, and I'm so proud. And when you get discouraged about some of the things that go on and behind the scenes and what you've been through to get that school to this point, you're just ecstatic when you walk in there and you can actually see the classrooms, and these kids are in closed classrooms, and they're learning. And for some of the kids, it means the world, with attention spans not as such, and being in an open environment. I remember that myself, and being one of those kids. There's a squirrel, there's this, what's happening over here, what's happening over there. It's amazing to have those closed classrooms. So I thank our board members for that also. And I know I've talked a long time, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Greenway. Mr. Linden, would you like to go next?
Certainly, Madam Chair. Thank you. And as Mr. Greenway mentioned, it has been a very busy month. I want to start with the most inspirational event that I think we were able to go to in the last month, and that was Cam Thepsamong's graduation last Sunday. So he's just such an amazing young individual. The community over there, you could feel the love and the support from the community. So just wanted to thank Evan Knoll and Chuck Lineberger for doing the live streaming of that event. It was just such a wonderful way to spend that Sunday afternoon, and I can't think of a more deserving and more amazing and inspirational young man than Cam. So appreciate that, Chuck. As Dr. Nicely mentioned, the Career Quest at the Civic Center, I thought that was truly an amazing event to see the engagement that those businesses were able to get from the students. Seventh graders, sometimes they're kind of shy and not knowing what they want to do, but to go over and see how engaged they were, I just want to thank all those businesses that took that time. It was a wonderful event. So I wanted to quickly thank the Education Foundation for their golf outing last month. I know primary sponsor member one and Education Foundation committee, a lot of work into that event, and it was a nice day. So
We beat y'all.
I don't remember.
I
Chuck?
can't remember either. Did we beat him? Hopefully.
I don't recall.
No
I had
comment.
a
We
bit
did not
sick,
play real
definitely.
well, but we had a good time out there. So, want to thank Nancy Hands and the for the PCW event over at Northside last week. It was not as well attended as I would have liked, but as Dr. Nicely mentioned earlier, there are a bunch of other dates coming up for those events, and I strongly encourage the community and parents to get out and listen to the dangers that social media and the cell phones have. So, other than that, Dr. Soltis, congratulations. It's nice to be able to have a smooth transition to a new superintendent. Building on that foundation that Dr. Nicely laid, as you mentioned, is important for us as a board. So you're going to follow an incredible superintendent who has the respect of people throughout the Commonwealth, and I'm certain you're up for that task. But Dr. Nicely, you've been a tremendous temporary steward, as you mentioned, for Roanoke County Public Schools, and look forward to your last 8+ months. So, congratulations, Dr. Soltis.
Thank you,
That's
Mr.
it.
Linden. Ms. Fashani?
Yes, thank you. I had the opportunity to attend the Roanoke County All Choir performance at Hidden Valley High School, and I have to say every single seat was filled. We could have been breaking some fire codes because people were standing room only. It was an incredible event. I say that jokingly. The performance was exceptional, and the students' hard work and dedication, along with the guidance that they got from their choir teachers, was truly exceptional. So I want to thank everybody who was part of that event. On the program it listed, there's too many people to list, but it was very impressive. I also attended another community family education meeting at Hidden Valley Middle School, like David mentioned, on the dangers of social media and smartphones. And I'll once again plug this event. Please go. It's informative, it's eye-opening, and I just really think that you don't have to be a Roanoke County public school student to go. You can bring friends, you can bring cousins. It's family, anybody can attend these events. So we just want people to get out there and hear what is being said. I want to offer a heartfelt thank you once again to Nancy Hands of PCW and Emily Harrison for their outstanding effort. They're putting a lot of time into these events, and this initiative is so important. So thank you. The BCAT open house was a success. I attended that. We had more than 600 attendees. Mr. Kish shared an exciting video featuring renderings of the new building that was welcomed with great enthusiasm. It was so much fun to talk to all the students who are really excited to hear about all the programmings and all the opportunities that are available at BCAT and the new opportunities that are going to be available. The topping off ceremony was a tremendous success. We had fabulous weather. Branch and our staff did a truly wonderful job. I personally enjoyed meeting a lot of the talented construction workers and thanking them. We had some really great speakers, and just on a personal level, it's so amazing to think where we were just a couple of years ago into where we are now, and to go up there and see that site. And I know when people see it in real life for the first time, they're just going to be blown away. Before we know it, the ribbon cutting ceremony will be here. Finally, last but not least, I'd like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Soltis on his upcoming role as superintendent. You've been a wonderful addition to central office, and I look forward to working with you in this next chapter as you square your circle. I guess, where did you start, Jamie? At Glenford? Was that?
I started teaching at Bird.
At Bird.
Yeah,
Okay,
we got him started.
Okay. Bird. And what was the year again?
1999.
1999. That's what I thought you said. It was such a great year. But I hope you'll be here for many more years. So congratulations, and I look forward to having you on. Ken, you will be missed. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Ms. Fashani. Mr. Hudson?
So congratulations, Dr. Soltis. It's been a long time coming. I've known Jamie for a long time, and I know I mentioned when we appointed you to the deputy position that some of the biggest things I can remember about you from when I worked with you, you shopping for families in need at Christmas time, you buying food at Thanksgiving time for families in need, and it clearly your heart is shown every day. You coached many kids. I know I've witnessed them come up and hug you, and things like that, talking about how much you impacted their life, much like Mr. or Coach Wood and, Coach Myers that you mentioned. It's hard to say how many countless people that you've had an impact on. I'm excited to have you in this position, and I know that you're going to do some really great things. So thank you for coming on board, and really looking forward to what you're going to bring to the table. And um, I'll save all my great things to say about Dr. Nicely when we get a little bit closer, because Dr. Nicely has done a great job for us and continues to do so on a daily basis. A big deal about Mr. Wood. He's a legend at Glenver. If you've ever been out there, you'll see him working on the field, or you'll see him, coaching the kids and making a difference. And 1970s, I mean, that's amazing. How many kids, again, has he impacted in all those years of being out there? And it's clear to see where his heart is when he's speaking about how that's why he gets up every morning. So it means a lot to me to be able to get that done and go out and take some pictures of the field. I'm excited for baseball season when that comes around. I know we've had several students speak about the arts. I will say that, art's very important. It's a very important part of education. Obviously, there is a labor market for arts, and by no means is it something that we do not value and something that we will look into as in the future. And we have space limitations, but one of the things that we went through when we were going through the design phase of Burton is to make sure that we can expand, because obviously as time goes on that would definitely be needed. So can't make any promises like Mr. Greenway said, but I don't want anybody or any kids thinking that we don't value art. And I really appreciate you coming out and speaking about it tonight, because you did an excellent job. I know it's not easy for me to stand here and sit here and talk to folks. So you getting up in front of us that's an amazing feat for a young person. So thank you for doing that. And one more thing, I generally don't really talk about politics up here because I don't feel like that's what the job's about. But there's an election coming up here pretty soon, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to work with some really great people, Mr. Greenway, Mr. Linden, Ms. Fashani, and I'm proud of the things that we've accomplished, over the last 4 years. Back when Ms. Fashani and I came on, it was a very tough time because we were coming off the heels of COVID, and it was our goal to get the kids out of the masks and back into our classrooms. And we did that, and we did it in a timely fashion. I think we were one of the first in this valley to get that done, or actually first probably in the state to get that done once we could legally do so. And, one of the things that we found out when we did that was, student scores had really taken a hit from not being in the classrooms. So that leads to my next thing. If, we appropriated a lot of money to implement after hours tutoring where kids had help with homework, as well as additional tutoring programs that we contracted that kids were able to do during the school day. And I think we're still doing some of those. Correct, Dr. Nicely. So I thought that, was worth well mentioning, because now you look at our scores and we've come out of COVID and we have really kicked it in high gear with those ideas. And I know, Cheryl, some of those were ideas that you actually brought to us. One of the big things too, we got 3 projects going on right now, as everybody is well aware. And I can assure you today that those 3 projects would not be happening if it were not for the 3 people setting up here that was on this board with me at the time. That was a lot of fighting, a lot of political battles, and I don't really want to get into that, but I do want to say that I can assure you, as the chair of the board at the time, there is no way that we would have walls in the classrooms at Glen Cove right now and at Cundiff and having the ceremony tomorrow and the ceremony we had at Burton if it were not for you 3. So thank you for standing beside me and getting those done. It was much needed, and I actually visited Glen Cove the other day, and it's awesome to see these teachers in brand new classrooms able to teach their kids without fighting the noise of 4 classrooms in one big room. I have no idea who thought that was a good idea back in the 70s, but believe me, it is not. And one other, big thing that we've been through over the 4 years is no secret, is we fought side by side to keep political ideologies out of our schools, and I'm proud to say we've done that, and it's been an honor serving next to you 3, and I really look forward to serving the next 4 years with you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. So a few things that have been going on in the last few weeks. We had an opportunity to continue to meet to look at the possibility of bringing the random drug testing. We've discussed whether there's a need, what other districts have in place, and the cost and what the interventions would look like. The committee will meet again and make a recommendation. As Ms. Fashani mentioned, we did also have the topping off ceremony. It is really incredible to see that building and just how big it is. Last year at this time, it was just a piece of land, and here we are under roof. And the completion is right around the corner, and we cannot wait to open the doors. I also serve on the Roanoke Valley Governor's School Board. So I attended their quarterly meeting. Roanoke County has 52 slots at the Roanoke Valley Governor School, and all 52 of those slots are filled. Director Mr. Levy, he talked about the beginning of the school year and that it's gone really well. Their focus is on critical thinking skills and collaborative problem solving. I don't know how much you know about the Governor School, but it's pretty intense, and it's the rigor is pretty spectacular. So he talked about some of the supports that they offer, especially for first year students, things like goal setting and time management strategies, and they've also enhanced their efforts to support the college application process for seniors. Let's see, Dr. Nicely and I were able to make it to the remaining Cave Spring schools in the last couple of weeks. We were able to see the students and staff in their classrooms. I'm always impressed. It's one of my favorite things that we do. As Dr. Nicely mentioned, we did have the honor of recognizing Joan Farley, who is the counselor at Cave Spring Middle School, and celebrating her 55 years of service, which is incredible. Joan was the counselor for both of my children, but she also happened to be the counselor for my husband, which is pretty cool. So 55 years is a pretty long time. So congratulations to Miss Farley, and thank you for your service. And I also would like to say, just as Mr. Hudson did, that we wish you all the best of luck in the next couple of weeks. And we are supportive of all of you, and just want people to get out and vote for you guys. And then, of course, lastly, I cannot forget Dr. Soltis. It has been a pleasure to work with you and get to know you over the last year or so. And I just look forward to working with you further. And I know that you're going to make an incredible superintendent, and you're going to do a wonderful job. So congratulations. And if there is nothing else, meeting adjourned.